Kelly Clarkson has always possessed a rare duality. She is both America's powerful voice and the approachable girl next door. The celebrity who somehow manages to maintain one foot planted firmly in real life. However, this week has served as a reminder to the world that underneath all of the tours, talk shows, viral Kelly covers, and red carpet glamour, she is much more grounded than it would appear. She is a mother who is navigating the most complicated intersections of life with grace, warmth, and a quiet strength that has helped her to persevere through years of turbulence. Only a single photograph was necessary to achieve this. Kelly posted a family photograph on Sunday, November 30, that was taken at the world-renowned Rockefeller Center ice rink in New York City, marking a special moment in the family's day. Her two children, River and Remy, were bundled up in bright winter coats, their faces glowing with cold-cheeked excitement, while Kelly stood beside them, smiling with that unmistakable mix of pride and tenderness. It was the kind of candid, joy-soaked moment that fans rarely get to see. The small group was completed by a close family friend, but it was the environment, the swirling holiday lights, the American flags billowing in the air above them, and the sparkling rink beneath their feet, that set the moment apart as something truly remarkable. The similar observation was made by fans right away. Kelly appeared to be in a better mood and more at ease than she has been in quite some time. A picture that gave me the feeling of starting over. Ice skating at 30 Rock with the family, read Kelly's straightforward Instagram caption. There was no fancy language, no celebration, and no dramatic introduction. Simply a mother and her children taking part in one of the most famous holiday traditions in all of New York. However, the significance of the moment extended much further than what the post had implied. For fans who had been following for a long time, the photograph came across as a pivotal moment, a picture frozen in time that represented healing, resilience, and a revived feeling of happiness. Her offspring appeared to be older, taller, and more self-assured. It appeared as if Kelly had shed years' worth of emotional weight, as she seemed happier and more carefree than she had before. Even the candid quality of the image, which was slightly imperfect, genuine, and authentic, contributed to the impression that this was not a celebrity carefully crafting an image, but rather a woman who was enjoying a good day in the midst of a challenging year. That degree of complexity has not been kept under wraps. A year that was shadowed by grief. Brandon Blackstock, who was previously married to Kelly, died unexpectedly in August of 2025 at the age of 48. The two of them had gone through a divorce that was finalized long before he passed away, but they were still responsible for the enormous duty and the emotional intricacies of co-parenting their young children together. The fact that he had passed away came as a great shock to those who followed Clarkson's talk show, her career in music, and her life in the public eye. However, the loss had a more subdued and personal impact on Kelly. It involved completely transforming the environment in which her children lived. She just made a short comment at that time, which was full of gratitude and emotion, was mostly concerned with her own inner self. She conveyed her sincere appreciation for the assistance that was being provided to her by her fans and friends, but she also made it a point to emphasize that River and Remy were at the top of her list of priorities. Over the course of the days and weeks that followed, she took a step back from the limelight and withdrew to a space where she could assist her children in working through the grief of experiencing a loss that no child should have to endure at such a tender age. What she did not say over that time frame spoke a great deal. Sharing everything from challenges with body image to difficult chapters in her marriage, Kelly has always been candid with her fans. However, it appeared that her self-control was being exercised on purpose this time around. She chose to maintain her privacy and avoid being in the public eye rather than choosing to be in the spotlight. It became apparent that she wanted for her children to deal with their sorrow in a manner that was dignified and not to be scrutinized by the entertainment industry. As a result, the new photo symbolized something, not only a return to the world, but a return to happiness itself. Making a comeback on the stage and in the spotlight, Kelly returned to The Kelly Clarkson Show for the premiere of its 7th season, just a month following the death of Blackstock. It was unclear to the fans whether or not she would bring up the defeat. Would she diverge from her characteristically cheerful and humorous manner of speaking? Would she carry on as if nothing out of the ordinary had occurred? However, what they saw was a typical Kelly performance: upbeat, friendly, focused, and passionately professional. She delivered a short but significant opening statement to the people in attendance. Without drawing attention to the fact that she had experienced a personal tragedy, she greeted everyone with the warmth that is characteristic of her Texas upbringing, as she acknowledged the passage of time and the change in atmosphere. Instead, she chose to embrace something with symbolic significance: light. The song "Blinding Lights" by The Weeknd was released in 2020 and became a huge hit. Kelly chose this song for her first karaoke performance of the season. For the casual viewer, it was a selection that was entertaining and full of energy, upbeat, catchy, and pleasing to the masses. However, for those fans who were paying close attention, the selection of songs was loaded with emotional significance. Kelly elaborated that the theme of light had been consistent from the very start of her show, and she felt that it was the appropriate moment to revisit it. Light had been her guide through numerous challenges, including divorce, career reinvention, and health challenges, and it continues to be her guide as she now navigates grief. The choice of a song about pursuing brightness in the face of darkness conveyed more than any overt declaration could have expressed. Recuperation in the very center of New York City. The fact that the photograph taken at the Rockefeller Center resonated is due to the following: it was the manifestation of light. Since relocating her talk show from Los Angeles to New York in 2023, the city has evolved into Kelly's primary residence, and it is evident that the metropolis has transformed into a refuge for her. The pace at which it moves, the energy it possesses, and the anonymity it provides in the midst of large groups of people, all of these factors appear to have contributed to her ability to reconstruct her life following a challenging period. During the Thanksgiving season, she often takes the opportunity to reflect on her life, and this year was no exception to that pattern. However, this photograph managed to capture something distinct. It did not evoke a sense of reflection or bittersweetness. It was a happy occasion. The pristine winter coats, the ice skates laced tight, the chilly air turning breath into fog. It was a slice of the kind of childhood experience that she seemed to be resolved to create for her children. Memories that are focused on things like laughter, movement, and togetherness, rather than those that are based around loss. And admirers were quick to take note. Comment sections filled to the brim with messages in which people pointed out how happy she appeared, how healthy she was, and how full of life she seemed. Other people made comments on how much the children had grown, as well as how happy and self-assured they seemed to be. It was observed by a number of people that Kelly appeared to be embracing her life in a more complete and free manner than they had witnessed her doing prior to her divorce. The following was the prevailing opinion: Kelly Clarkson appears as though she has finally found peace of mind, in search of her path. Since the moment she emerged victorious in the 2002 season of American Idol, Kelly's life has been played out in the public eye. She has transitioned from being a singer to an actor, talk show host, vocal coach on The Voice, author of children's books, and cultural icon. She has rebuilt her profession on several occasions, handled the challenges of being a mom while in the public eye, and has been through public heartbreaks. However, she has managed to maintain her disarmingly genuine nature throughout all of this. That genuine quality stood out like a beacon in the family portrait she took near Rockefeller Center. There was not even a single effort made to appear attractive or polished. Her gloves, which were a little too small for her hands because they were children's gloves, were nonetheless the perfect fit for a mother. She also wore a hat that covered her hair, and she had a coat that was functional. The photograph communicated the following message: "At this point in time, I am this person. A mother who is doing her very best. A woman who is taking back happiness in her life. A person who is slowly but surely reconstructing her life, taking it one small step at a time." It is possible that this is the reason why the image resonated with followers on such a profound level. Kelly Clarkson's snapshot served as a reminder to individuals that genuine happiness is frequently subtle, uncontrived, and discovered in the little moments of life, particularly in a time period in which celebrity branding appears to be meticulously crafted and continuously filtered. An entire day spent skating on the ice, a smile that is exchanged, a family that is in the process of rebuilding itself in the aftermath of a devastating loss. The hidden message that the picture conveys. In addition, something else was observed by the fans. It was something that was not immediately apparent, but it was indisputable. Kelly had a robust appearance. I am not referring about the way it is used on social media to inspire others. However, it should be founded in reality and in personal experience. The resilience of a female who has wept alone, rebuilt in silence, and decided to carry on without bitterness or spectacle. The photo captured a look of contentment on her face rather than simply a smile. The responses that the bot provides are informative, comprehensive, and courteous. Calm and tranquil. This was a woman who has completed the work in question. She is currently experiencing the benefits of her early efforts. Her talk program is still going strong and doing well. It seems that her children are content and receive emotional support. Her career is still steady and continues to grow. In addition, her supporters, who have remained faithful to her since the very beginning, are encouraging her in a way that they have never done before. A glimpse of the future that lies ahead. If we are to believe what this picture is telling us, Kelly Clarkson's next chapter will be characterized not by personal struggle or public drama, but rather by a calm happiness. Embracing honesty has always been when she was at her finest, and it appears that this new age is going to emphasize that more than it ever has before. Fresh music, fresh Kellyoke moments, and even new creative paths are all things that her admirers are eagerly anticipating. Nevertheless, for the time being, they appear satisfied with the knowledge that Kelly and her children are recovering. They were able to discover a moment of unadulterated happiness on that one Sunday morning in New York City, when they were on a skating rink that was encircled by laughing and lights. A photo that captures a moment of time that will never end and communicates more than words ever have the ability to convey. It was an authentic moment that fans will not forget, and they will not forget it due to its glamour or the fact that it was contrived. And also as a result of the fact that Kelly Clarkson, following a year that was characterized by an immense amount of grief, finally appeared to be herself once more.